According to Korean tradition, after a baby is born, mother and baby do not leave the house for the first 21 days. There are long cords of peppers and charcoal hung in the doorway to ward away guests and evil spirits. At the end of the 21 days, a prayer is given over white rice cakes. After 100 days, there is a large celebration, a celebration of survival, with pyramids of fruit and lengths of thread for long life. When my son was born, I was reminded of this tradition daily by my family and by my in-laws, because we were breaking all the rules. I took a shower after birth, ignoring the week-long rule of no water on the mother's body, and my first meal wasn't traditional seaweed soup, it was sushi. We opened our doors, let in guests, bundled my son in layers, and took him on walks in the falling snow. And then we did a fateful thing. We left our home. My son was 2 months old when we embarked from London on an extended trip across the US. I had come up with a plan to use our shared parental leave to do a cross-country tour of family and friends and introduce them to our son. I didn't see why we had to pay attention to Korean traditions, or superstitions as I thought of them. As Korean Americans born and raised in the US, my husband and I had never paid much attention to the rules, and I had always thought our families didn't either. Except that suddenly, with the birth of a baby, the rules seemed to matter. We had avoided any evil spirits from California to Virginia, but perhaps we'd just been running away from them, because they found us at last at my in-laws' house in New Jersey. My son was 8 days shy of his 100-day celebration when I started to see devils in his eyes. My husband would take me to the hospital emergency room. By then, I would be screaming and tearing off my clothes in the waiting room. I was admitted to the hospital where I spent 4 days without sleeping. In desperation, the doctors gave me a cocktail of drugs that my body rejected. I still wouldn't sleep. The decision was made that I should be admitted to a psychiatric ward. I was checked into an involuntary psych ward in New Jersey, which is where I am now. It's difficult to know where the story of psychosis begins. Was it the moment I met my son, or was it decided in the before, something rooted deeper in my fate, generations ago?